Holidays, everyone.
Hello, and
Yeah.
happy holidays and happy Thursday.
And we got a guest.
We got a guest. The space may look familiar if you've watched our videos before.
I keep forgetting to bring in the prom photo.
Oh, right.
I have a picture
Someday.
of Tim in high school, my daughter, prom, whatever that
The
was. Yeah.
prom.
Yeah, they're in a picture together.
I found one the other day of
You
me and
did?
Erica and Katie Nave
You did?
and Scott
Really?
and Justice Hallam and Erica Martin at Hickory Park.
No kidding.
Yep.
Oh, how fun is that?
Oh, well, we have a special guest after we'll have like the
Oh my gosh.
throwback.
Okay, we need to count how many kids. You have 5, my daughter has 4, Aaron has 3, Katie has 2. That's a lot of children out of that picture.
14. Justice has 1.
It just has 1.
Yeah.
Oi.
Scott has 0.
It's got a 0.
5, 4,
Wow.
3, 2, 1, 0.
How awesome did that work out?
Right.
Mind blown.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
There's a lot of children produced from that.
Populated.
Populated, yeah. Yeah.
It's the track. It's the track and
It
field.
must be. Well, Erica's college apartment, 4 girls, there's 14 children out of that apartment. Mind blown.
Watch out if your family is in track.
Apparently.
There's just total confidence that you can handle lots of kids because
Yeah,
you figure
absolutely.
if the energy overwhelms you, you just send them out and run.
That's
Oh,
right. Yes.
And you could run after them.
You can run after them. You can condition. We just cracked the code.
Well, my husband would do this with the kids because he felt they were sitting around too much. If he picked them up from someplace, he'd just drop them at the corner
Oh,
2
to
blocks
run
away and make them run home.
Wow.
Erica does the same thing.
Oh,
Wow.
funny.
She'll drop them off at the corner, they run. Yeah, so he'd make them run home if he didn't think they were doing much that day. So it was kind of funny. But
That's really good.
Yeah.
I have to remember that. Watch out, boys.
you live kind of on a cul-de-sac kind of thing, so you can run all the way around that from Polk to Stevenson.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Go
Set up
park in
you
the
got a
back.
relay team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Use your lines, use your baton.
yeah, exactly.
The only problem with that is that the Wi-Fi gets worse as you leave the house.
Oh
So,
gosh,
I don't know what to do. They're going to be running with the tablet or something.
I know.
So I'd have to follow them with my mobile hotspot on in order
Yes, you
for it to
would.
work.
Man, life's complicated.
I know. First world problems. Holy cow. So Tim, do you have any holiday traditions?
It's interesting. I came from a family that had none.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
so it's kind of a tradition not to have a tradition?
It was until I got married
Yes.
because I married someone that had Max.
Yeah. We went from one extreme to the other.
Holiday
Yes,
tradition,
yes.
yes.
Trying to blend those is tough when yeah.
So did you conform to having lots of traditions, or do you get to mix in your no traditions within the traditions?
They are perfectly mixed depending on whose family we are with.
Oh, okay.
So
Yep.
do you do both families every year, or do you do her family and your family every other year?
Yeah, no, we'll get started on the 20th,
Okay.
and we'll go see her mom, and then on the 21st her dad,
Yeah.
and then the 22nd my family, and then the 23rd maybe somebody goes and visits my uncle, and we may or
Gotcha.
may not go.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And then on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day?
Aside from presents and that type of thing, the one thing we do that bringing it full circle,
Mm-hmm.
3 years ago, it was like 50 degrees on Christmas Day.
Right.
And the kids were squirrely.
Mhm.
And we decided to go for a hike
Oh.
at Emma
Nice.
McCarthy Lee.
Oh,
Park
great place to go
here in
hiking.
Ames.
Yep.
Had
Yep.
a great hike, and by golly, we've done it for 3 years in a row now.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome. I
Burns
like
off
that.
a little energy, a little
Yes.
food, get some outdoors. I mean, it was still 30 degrees last
Yeah,
year.
that's
so
good. Yeah.
Right.
I guess the Hibbings do have a little bit of
Look
a
at
tradition.
that.
They
Look
do.
at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. Do you have traditions?
Sort of, not really. I mean, I guess the one tradition, I guess you called it tradition, when I started having grandchildren, and I didn't know I was going to have so many.
Yeah. Four of
Four
them.
of them.
Establish that.
So,
early.
when you started tradition with, I'm going to, every year I'll do the birthday cake.
Yes.
Well, now I do 4.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't make them, I buy them. If you know me well enough, I'm not going to bake anything. But so it's like I got to, plan and prepare 4 birthday cakes. And
Right.
so I do the holiday pajamas.
Oh yes, and now.
And yeah, now I got 4, and the older boys aren't quite into the matchy things,
Right.
so I have to find something that kind
Coordinated.
of coordinated, but yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, so I always do the ornaments, and for my kids, I always did ornaments. That was a big thing. That's what. So they actually had their own tree,
Oh, yeah,
so they had
their
ornaments, and then they went off with them. They got
Yes.
on their own, and so my son-in-law now, when Erica opened up her box of ornaments from growing up,
Yes.
there's an awful lot of Winnie the Pooh and Tigger and
Oh.
all that in there. So
That's funny.
it's yeah, so it's more adulted now. But so ornaments and pajamas kind of are the thing. Yeah. So I always gift an ornament to my kids every year, even now as they're adults, and so that's a big.
I love that.
Yeah.
I like that. My mom did that too. And actually even when I put the tree now, I just have a few left because some get broken along the way. But I do love the ones that I'm like, oh right, these were from my mom, and
yeah,
that's kind of
exactly.
fun.
I still have my very first baby ornament.
Oh
yeah.
Our Christmas tree and the ornaments are predominantly used for the 2-year-old to hide behind and fill his diaper.
Oh.
So he's excited about lots of ornaments because
oh my God,
right.
Yeah, creates more of a barrier for us to see what's going on.
No filter here today. Oh, that's hilarious.
That's so funny.
Gosh.
We had a neighbor that, so growing up on the farm, we had the neighbors, the Mossmans, and they used to always, we'd come over like the friends, like our neighborhood would come over. And Mark and I would always lay underneath the Christmas tree. They had those like our tradition, right? We'd lay under, and then you would look from the tree from the bottom up, and then we just lay. There'd always be feet, and then somebody would join us. All these feet would be hanging out from underneath the tree. But you'd be looking out, and so we just chat. We were probably in junior high school, right? We just lay under there, and we just like talk while we looked up, and it was just really pretty. Like I remember it being super pretty. But first I remember going, what? You're asking me to what?
Yeah.
Like lay underneath the Christmas tree. And he's like, it's super cool. And I was like, oh. So
that's awesome.
That's what, now sometimes you have to make room.
I was going to say, yeah, lift the branches up a little bit. But yeah. So end of the year, we talked about this earlier about getting that escrow statement from
yes.
So that's a holiday tradition, right?
Right.
You get that shock of the change in the payment.
Traditions, you're like, can I change the tradition? No.
Yeah, every November you get that thing. So yeah, one of the items on that escrow is insurance. And so that's why Mr. Hibbing here is joining us today to talk about, so what if you wanted, what's that process of say I'm looking at, okay, I'm going to see if I can save a little money. Yeah. So maybe insurance is a place I can do that. So talk a little bit about that process and how you coordinate that.
Yeah, because I think most people, they see it and their heart starts racing
and
they break out in sweats because they're like, it's going up, but can I change it? I mean, like, I think
they think it's too complicated.
And so they're like, I'll just pay it.
I'll just leave it. Yeah.
Not even going to ask the question. So I think 2 things, how can you change it? And I think 2, like, why might your insurance, I mean, is it just like, because I think we all think, oh, my insurance is just going to go up because you got me. Right.
Yeah. That's what we think.
Yeah.
So
they don't really think that.
you obviously cannot call the county and say, I want lower taxes.
Right. You cannot.
Right.
You can try.
You can try, but
you can't call though. You have to show up at a certain meeting.
Yeah.
With certain documents in your hand.
That's just not gonna.
No,
happen.
that's not gonna fly.
So Caitlin, I'll tell you something. From the Monday before Thanksgiving through the Wednesday after Thanksgiving, we had not 1, not 2, we had 16 different customers write us and say, hey, just curious if I can do better.
Yeah. Perfect.
And these ranged from customers I know are paycheck to paycheck, all the way up to very successful business people who I could hear driving down the road 70 miles an hour at 3 p.m. Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Right. It was on their mind about
saving a few bucks a month.
Yeah. And so, the answer is typically yes. Now, to your point, why does, home insurance even go up? There's typically 2 reasons. Everybody thinks it's claims, and I would just argue that, it's more so just general inflation.
Sure.
You have to think, the drywall guys want a little bit more money every year.
Right. It's going to be the cost of what it's going to take to rebuild that home in that. Yeah.
But it's the drywall guys, the
Yes.
trim guys, the roofers, the framers, the plumbers, the electricians. I mean, we're talking 20 to 25 business units, depending on what type of a loss you have, depending on what type of a remodel you need. And if they're all wanting just $1 more an hour, year over year, it really does add up. And so typically, our average increase in coverage year over year is $10,000 in coverage. And that average premium is going to go up maybe $80 a year. So 80 for 10,000, not the worst thing in the world, but it's a complete reality. We've had customers call and say, I'm upset my rate goes up every year. And I say, time out. Your rate's going to go up with me every year as well. It should be going up about 2% or 2 to 4%. What's somewhat consistent with inflation. That being said, the other reason that rates go up is because companies just feel like it.
Oh, sure.
And maybe they don't have good actuary tables. So, for example, we have a company in Florida, and quite honestly, they just got into Iowa kind of late, didn't know what was going on. We had the huge rain last June, we had a bunch of hail last June. So they took 2 rate increases in 9 months.
Oh wow. That's huge.
Both about 9%.
Wow.
And so those customers that missed the first one caught both.
Oh wow.
And really got stuck. And so, in those instances, like the successful business person I was just telling you about, she's calling at 3 p.m. Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I'm going, what are you doing? Thinking about your insurance this close to Thanksgiving. Well, guess what? We saved her $1,950.
Wow, that's huge.
She'd been victim of that double rate increase. So kudos to her for
reaching out. Yeah, because the phone call's not going to cost you anything. Tim, how can you help me? So, so let's say in her case, you've helped her save some money on that. So then, what's the next step to get that all communicated with the mortgage? How's that happen?
So I'll give you good news and bad news.
Okay.
The good news is that part's actually really easy.
Okay.
Very easy for the customer, right? Like, do they have to do anything?
We tell the customer we can technically do everything. The thing we need you to do is if you get any nasty grams in the mail, snap a photo, scan it, get it to us, because you're probably going to get a letter like that. And we'll just take care of it. It's going to happen, but we'll take care of it when it does. The bad news is that typically if you're switching home insurance providers, I would just ask you a question. When's the last time you've had an unexpected visitor to your house, and how did it make you feel? Because with a new home insurance policy, you're going to have somebody out there checking the condition of the roof, looking for a swimming pool, looking for a trampoline, listening for dogs, looking to see if you got a big old daycare sign in the front yard. Counting the number of chimneys up above. And unfortunately, I'm human, my team's human. We don't always think to walk you through all 6 of those things. Especially if you're our existing client and things have changed, but you haven't told us. And so what you do want to avoid is jumping ship just to get in bed with another company that all of a sudden doesn't like trampolines, and we forgot to ask if you had a trampoline or if you.
Sure. Okay, gotcha.
So there are those. Typically, we're going to say, if we can't save more than $200 a year on the house insurance, leave it where it's at. But keep watching it every year.
That's a good benchmark. So that's great to know. But I think that's the anxiety, or not really the anxiety, the reason people don't do that is because, like, oh man, I have to go through all this hassle to switch, and how do I get it to my mortgage lender, and then when will it affect your escrow though? That's the other question. And so you switch now in December, your new homeowner's insurance. So when will that really reflect my payment? It's not going to affect my payment right away because that's all that has factored in already for this year. So you're really kind of thinking ahead as to how you're going to change.
You are thinking ahead. I think unless you're really proactive and you call your mortgage servicer and say, hey, I've changed it. You should have that information. My payment is now this. And either they're going to say, oh, well, when we do your analysis, we'll do that. Or if you get the really friendly person on the line, depends. Like I say, it depends on who you get. They're like, oh yeah, I see that, Oh, wow, nice job. You're saving $1,900 a year. That is awesome. We should probably get that in and make your payment, get your payment adjusted. So it just really depends on your servicer. Depends on probably who you got when you called on the phone,
Yeah.
but it would be something that like your insurance agent is going to get all taken care of for you to make sure you're covered. Because if you're not covered, I will just tell you, I only know one time in my career that the person just decided to cancel their insurance. And in your mortgage, it talks about forced placed insurance. They do not shop around. They are not looking for a deal. They are getting you the highest whatever coverage, and it's going to be really expensive. So as long as the insurance agent has done their part, which is the easy part, if you really want it to be reflected in your payment before your analysis is done, you might have to be proactive in making that happen.
Right, earlier in the year. So that's great. That's great to know. Well, Tim, I appreciate you jumping in here and talking
thanks
with
for being our guest today.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, you know, that's something that people don't really think about it until they get that escrow analysis in November. So you're looking into a new year here. Let's look at maybe, you know, this spring, giving Tim a call and saying, hey, can I do any better? And
I think too, it's a great, I think for you to be talking about if you've done anything new to your house.
Yes.
I think the worst thing is when you have a disaster happen. I mean, Tim knows this very personally right now. But when you have that happen, right? Like, have you talked to your insurance person to let them know what's in your house, or do you have the right coverage and things like that? So if you do make some changes, you might want to let your insurance person know so that you're actually covered correctly.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I get that little packet every year. You know, if you've updated your AC, I fill it out very diligently. You know,
right?
So because
dog.
Yes. I'm a vicious little 15 pound.
Is it patch or is it a big, Doberman pinscher? Like
no, it's not. It's a little guy. So anyway, so that's very important to not ignore those kinds of things. So your insurance agent knows exactly what's going on in your house. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
well, thank you. Thanks for being with us today.
Yeah,
thanks for the information. Really valuable.
Absolutely. Stuff. Everybody have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we might have some fun with these sweaters.
We might have some fun next week because it's the week before Christmas.
It is.
All right. See ya.
Yeah.